When I was a young lad, I went to the technical school in Tuam, and then I went into a garage to serve my time as a mechanic. There was an old man, a neighbour of ours. He had 34 acres of land, and he had an old thatched cottage, and the roof fell in. And we used to rent, myself and my brother, we used to rent the land from him. And when he died, he gave me the land. So that's how I got into farming on my own account. I used to do a bit of farming with my brothers and my father. I remember at one stage I had 49 cattle, between cows, suckling and calves and all that. But that was back in 1974. And I remember a young fella over the road, he was always talking about cattle and the price of them and everything, and he was over the fields with me on this day. This was back in 1974. And I had 59 between suck calves and cows and year-olds or a year and a half. The price for cattle, it dropped dramatically. I sold the best of them for £47, and I sold cows for £36. So that was a big setback. I got married in 1966, and myself and Mary, we opened a little shop here in the countryside. We had that for about 18 years. The first time I met Mary, I met her at the market where I was selling some vegetables, and we agreed to meet again on the Sunday night in Abbeynockmy Hall, where there used to be a dance at that time. There was no cares much, it was bicycles. So it was about 4 miles to where Mary lived. And we danced all night and had a great night. And that morning, that Sunday morning, I done the crossword the week before. So that Sunday morning, when I got the paper, I had the crossword done. And when I checked it, I had won £100 and a turkey for the Christmas. So that night in Abbey, Mary was selling tickets for the hurling club, and I won the raffle there as well. So the priest said to me, when I was going out the door, when I got my coat to go home, he said, "Oh, you won't need any coat tonight," he said. So this man, he was a friend of Mary's. He went up on the stage and he said, "There's a man here tonight that he won the crossword this morning, Sunday morning, and he won the raffle here tonight, and by the looks of things," he said, he's got a woman as well." My father, he used to tell us when we were young a story about, there's a liss down in his land, just down the road here. And it's like if there was it was built up roundabout. It's a little square field, and there was like a half an egg now shape in one corner, like a round thing, like an egg now, you'd say. This is the less here now, this square all around, and you see the dike. There's a big dike there. See, there's no markings or anything on it. One time, my father used to tell us that his father, I think it was, he had a horse and a cow and I think 7 sheep, and he ploughed this here to put potatoes in it, and the hoofs fell off the horse, and the horse died and the cow died, and the sheep as well. 6 or 7, 6 of them died. 6 died out of 7, I think. And he didn't know what to do, but he went to the priest, the parish priest, and he told him, and the priest said he'd come over and he'd bless the field. But he started down at the head of the village there, and he came up and he was reading prayers and shaking hold of water all the way up to this field here. And he went around about the square there and he shook hold of water and he blessed it. And he told him never any of his family to put a spade on it, to dig it, but they could cut grass in it. And he warned his father, and my father told us never to dig anything in it or ploughed, that there was no explanation for it. But sometimes maybe in places like this there was children buried or something, so that's all the information we have about it anyway. The most amazing thing that happened to me was when I was a young fella. We heard talk of the Quiet Man coming to Ballyglunan, John Wayne, and he was my idol. I always liked John Wayne, big man. I couldn't believe I was standing beside him in Ballyglunan railway station.
When the train pulled into Castletown, 3 hours late as usual, and himself got off. He didn't have the look of an American tourist at all about him. Not a camera on him. And what was worse, not even a fishing rod.
Castletown?
So I remember John Wayne, the train pulled into the station, and John Wayne got out and walked out the gate, and Barry Fitzgerald was out there, and he had a sidecar, a horse and cart, and John Wayne said to him, "I want to go to Innisfree."
All I want is to get to Innisfree.
Ah, now you're talking sense.
So there was a caravan there as well, where they were doing all this inside, photographing and all that. John Wayne, he must say it about 15 times, "I want to go to Innisfree," till they got the right pitch or right sounder.
Could you tell me the way to Innisfree?
Innisfree? 5 miles and maybe a half more. Do you see that road over there?
This little building here on the left was where the watchman would be, up here on the left. So at that time there seemed to be two railway tracks. One for the carriages getting into where they'd be filled up, and the beet and potatoes or whatever, or stuff coming to the shops in town. I remember one morning in 1947, one Monday morning, my brother Patrick and 7 or 8 more neighbours, young men, went to England for work. My brother Patrick, he worked in the coal mines, and he must be 9 or 10 months down pit. And my father and mother used to worry about him and pray that he'd get up from down pit. So anyway, he was about a month on top, just tidying up and clearing, keeping the loose coal shoved aside. When he stooped down to get his shovel, and there was a big crane passing by over his head, and a big lump of coal fell down and struck him in the back of the neck, and he died instantly. That was very sad at the time, and I remember the remains coming into the station here, and they used to say that he was nearly the first man to come over in a coffin and come into the station here. So I remember that time, and the local people, they were all very sad for what happened. May he rest in peace. Now that I'm not doing too much on the farm, I like to go for the odd game of cards at night, and to go for an odd dance on a Saturday night. I like to say hello to my wife Mary, and she likes to do much the same, and say hello to Geraldine and Mike and Paul and Bernie and family, and Geraldine and Mike and Dylan and Ivan. Hope they're all in good health and happiness. And that's it.